If airports, hotel buffets, and client dinners and general work travel keep knocking you off track with your fat loss, I'm going to run through the 6 most important things that you need to consider so you can get lean whilst you're traveling for work. These are the same key components that I used while living abroad and living out of hotels, but that I also use with all of my clients so they can continue to lose weight whilst they travel, like Richard, Kevin, and Rob. So let's go ahead and break down those key principles that you need to follow. The first one that I encourage my clients to implement is your identity, what you identify as, who you identify as, okay? This is the person you now are, the one who makes healthy choices, not the person who is in half the time, out half the time. Not the person who's on track and then off track. You are now the person who has that strong routine at home, because that means that the damage that can be caused as a result of travel is minimal. Okay, we can keep it more under control. And if you think about it, healthy decisions are your normal. If that's your identity, then we're relying less on willpower. And we know that willpower can only get you so far, but we need to remain disciplined. And being disciplined becomes a lot easier when we identify as the person who makes those decisions. Think about it like this. If you see yourself as a guy trying to be healthy, you're going to struggle. But if you see yourself as the healthy guy, it's going to be way easier. The next one, and it's not one that many people like to do, it feels like a lot of effort, it's making a plan before you go, right? Having an idea of what meals we need to be tight, we need to be strict on, what meals maybe we can allow a bit more flexibility, where the meals are likely to be, whether that's in a hotel buffet, whether that's out at restaurants, whether that's in the office, what things maybe we can take to make the process easier, like taking some protein powder, checking the hotel facilities beforehand so you know what you've got to play with and whether you need to look elsewhere. And a big one that a lot of people don't realize makes this 10 times easier is they often travel to similar places or the same place over and over again. And so if you stay in the same hotel regularly, you really don't have an excuse. So learn the surroundings and make the most of them. And in general, if you could slightly increase the chances of success that you're experiencing in anything in life, you probably would, right? So why wouldn't you do it in this situation? Because I feel, and I imagine you feel, that this is probably one of the most important decisions. The third one is reframing our mindset around free food, whether that's free bread at a restaurant that's on the table already, whether that is a buffet at a hotel, whether that's an open bar, or whether that's grazing on hotel snacks that are always available. I know it's difficult, but free definitely doesn't mean required, and free also definitely isn't going to be helpful. So you need to get clear and decide what's worth it and exclude what isn't. And that again requires discipline. It will be a hard decision to make. But hopefully when you start making that decision and you see the benefits that come out as a result, it will only get easier and easier to make. And we just need to remain consistent with these decisions. Okay, buffets and things like that don't mean chaos. It doesn't give you license to go crazy. Fill your plate, create satisfying plates as much as you can with the kind of stage of your diet you're in, making sure we have a considerable portion of protein, plenty of fiber to fill out for low calories, and also always try and include something enjoyable, okay, whether that is something sweet, but in moderation. And if you need to, and if it helps, and if you're somebody who cannot control yourself around that, and remember, just because it's available, just because it's free, definitely doesn't mean that it serves you, yeah? Likelihood is it definitely doesn't. The fourth thing is to minimize the roller coaster, okay? That means like the high of the highs and the low of the lows. We want a more moderate trend during our fat loss phase, okay? And I know it's hard when we're going from one extreme to the other with our travel, but we want to do our best to minimize the roller coaster. If we've overindulged, that is fine. It's gonna happen at some stage. We can't be perfect all the time. But the past is then in the past, okay? We leave it there, we move on. We don't punish ourselves, we don't heavily restrict, we don't all of a sudden do 4 times as much cardio as we've done before, because that leads to the cycle of overeating, regret, punishment, and then binging. And it repeats and repeats. And we're gonna find it very difficult to have any sort of consistency and see the progress you want if we can't break that cycle. So what we're doing is we're just shrinking the amplitude of the roller coaster. We're not getting rid of it altogether because that's unrealistic. So we want small corrections, we want to move on, and we want to continue doing what we can. Number 5 is using downtime strategically, okay? Whilst we're away on work trips, we may feel busy, we may feel tired because of the travel, but we will have downtime. And that is the moments where we have to make the most of. Time before work, time in between meetings, evenings. So things like socializing with intention, keeping ourselves busy, training when we can, going for walks. Don't default to staying in the room, surrounding yourself with things like the minibar and going to the hotel bar where we have lots of temptation. Because look, when we have travel heavy jobs, burnout is real. We can be overwhelmed, we can be drained. The nature of travel is going to dehydrate us. It's going to mess with our circadian rhythm, like how we sleep. And when you're fitter and healthier, we generally deal with travel better. You'll be able to handle stress better. Your energy will be improved. And a big one is your mental clarity will improve as well, okay? And as soon as we get a bit fitter, a bit healthier, we start to make these decisions. They just get easier. And the 6th one, and one that maybe will piss off a few people, but it needs to be said, is that you're an adult. You can make your own decisions. You have that free will. So stand by your actions, good or bad. If you want that result, awesome. Let's commit to it wholeheartedly and do all we can and do the work. If you don't want that result, don't say you want that result. Don't put it out there and half commit, half not. With your schedule, with your travel lifestyle, you need to be all in to be able to see the results that you want because of how much temptation you're surrounded by, because of the extra energy and time is taken up from travel and the work you do. If you're not 100% desperate to have that result, to achieve that goal, then stop saying you want it. As an example, if other colleagues are drinking, they've gone to the hotel bar after a day of work, that doesn't mean you have to. Other people's choices should not dictate yours, because likelihood is the people you're around, the chances are they're not on the same journey as you. And so the actions they are taking are not going to be actions that necessarily support the journey you're on and the weight you're trying to lose. So fundamentally, you have 2 options. You can live your life as you currently are, overweight, feeling unhealthy, no energy, get tired when you do simple things because you haven't fully committed and you don't really want that result yet, and accept the consequences that could possibly happen. Or live a balanced, active, healthy life where sometimes you have to say no to something, but importantly, we try and find that balance and you enjoy longevity. And maybe if you are in a situation where you have other people around you, colleagues, clients, that aren't acting as you want to be acting and you find it hard, then try and bring them with you. Try and encourage them to do the same if you feel like they would benefit from it. But absolutely don't wait for them. Don't let their situation stop you from going out and grabbing the result that you want. So to sum up, travel does not stop your fat loss, okay? Not setting the standards that will carry you through your difficult travel, that's what stops the results. And if you're a man that travels for work and you want a system that actually fits that lifestyle, and you would like to know more about how I help my clients achieve their desired physique, their desired health status whilst they travel for work, then there's a link in the description to this video where you can go through, watch a short video about the program, learn a little bit about how it works. And if you would then like to jump on a short call where we can go into your biggest struggles that you're seeing at the moment, and I can offer you some actionable steps to go away and work on, then that option will be there for you too. Or you can go over to my Instagram at Jacob Connock Coach, DM me the word 6 ways, and we can have a conversation in the DMs about what you're struggling with and what advice I would give you in your situation.